What did we do wrong? It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Well, I mean, it is, but it's
But
not.
it's not.
You did it, but it's not your fault, right?
And part of it is it's literally society's fault because we've been taught things that are not true.
Dead wrong.
I just had a conversation on Instagram, which is not really a great place to have a conversation because you can't. But someone was saying, well, I read this book and it told me this advice and I followed it. And I said, unfortunately, that book has outdated information that it causes psychological damage to children. But what do we know? Like, we don't know. There's so much information out there. There's so much information out there. Like, there's tons. So it's difficult to know, like, well, what's true, what's not, what works, what doesn't. And society is set up in a way that, unfortunately, we're not connected to this information. If we lived in a different type of society where we were living intergenerationally and connected and we had a support system, like, this would be being shared and taught. And our grandmothers would say, no, that doesn't work. Like, do this. But we don't have that. So in some ways, it's just society's fault. Really, it is. Our society is not set up to support the healthy development of children. It's not. And part of that is actually, I think, literally evil and intentional. Sleep training was used by the Nazis to disconnect children from parents so that they would be easier to be controlled and be obedient to the government rather than their parents. Literally. So those are the types of things I'm talking about. So in some ways, it's like, it's not our fault. If you read a parenting book, if you took advice from anyone, chances are it was not accurate. And so what can we do? Nothing. All we can do now is
Cry ourselves to sleep at night.
ourselves to sleep. No. All we can do is focus on moving forward and healing and doing the best with what we know now. Like,
Yep.
that's the answer. You know?
I do want to throw in one more little thought here. We have to get clear about how we determine success. Like, how do you define success? Like, how do your kids turn out? What does your relationship look like? The way you define success matters. And the reason I bring this up because I came across this book. This woman wrote this book about parenting, and she was a very controlling mother, like extremely controlling. And she thought that was the way to parent. So she wrote a book about it. She became famous at the UN. Like, she was just going around the whole world speaking and sharing her book about this is the way to parent by being super controlling. And I was like, that's the worst way to parent. Like, are you kidding me? If you want a relationship with your kids, that won't work. But I realized she wasn't interested in having a relationship with her kids. She was interested in them doing what she said. And then I met her and I was like, yeah, okay, a little bit off there. And I'm like, the key here is meet her kids. And she had 2 kids, right? I love how most parenting books come from people with 1 or 2 kids. And I was like, you haven't even started yet. Let's go. But I met her kids, and sure enough, I would put them on this list of totally disconnected attachment disorders. And no wonder. Her mom was a drill sergeant. And she was going around telling everyone, this is how you get your kids to do things. I was like, your kids are like, they don't even know how to communicate.
Right. And I think that that's important because, yeah, in many ways, the parenting books or approaches or styles out there, they do have different goals. Their goal is to get my child to sleep through the night so I can sleep. Or their goal is to get my child to practice, like,
Do what I say.
I read Confessions of a Tiger Mother. Her goal was to help her child be a virtuoso violinist and play in Carnegie Hall. She achieved that.
And her kids hate her.
And her children hate her.
Absolutely hate her.
But they're
They have no
fantastic
relationship.
violinists. That was her goal. So you're right. Everyone has different goals. Now, our goal has always been to, yes, have successful children, but more importantly, we wanted them to be happy, healthy, confident, competent, and to have a fantastic relationship with us as adults.
And with each other.
That's our goal. And that's our definition of success.
And to skip through life singing zippity doo dah.
Doesn't literally happen. Okay. So we're going to get into 3 ways to heal these disorders. But let me read these comments. I'm thinking about my daughter who is avoidant attachment style. She doesn't respond to many of the things I do to show love. She is an acts of service love language and gifts love language. I have had to do things that don't come naturally to help improve the situation. Take her out, get her gifts, be prompt to help her accomplish tasks
Yep.
she's trying to accomplish when she needs assistance.
Yep.
Yes, which is the hardest part. Because you're like, I'm busy right now. Could you really not have chosen a better time? I
And the
bet.
answer to that is no,
Right.
because in the child's mind, and they wouldn't be able to articulate
Right.
it, but for whatever reason, in her mind
It's
or
a
his
huge
mind,
deal right now.
this thing right now is a gigantic deal. And if my parent doesn't help with me, then I'm insecure. I'm unsafe. I can't trust them. And so then that child walks away again, unconsciously saying,
I can't
my
turn to them.
my world might not be safe, right? And we're thinking, What? I guess I'll do it later," or "I'll tell you how much I love you," and and it doesn't hit.
That, you can't say to them like, "Oh yeah, I can see how important this is. I totally get it. Let me finish this. It's going to take me 30 minutes or whatever." And
And
then I
then I
then
will
I
do
will
it, but then we have to
have to
follow
follow
through.
up.
One of the biggest problems I see in parenting is parents say they'll do something, and then they never get to it, and the
Because
kids are like,
because
"Can't trust them,"
I used to do this, I would use that as a way to kind of get them to go away. Be like, "Oh, well, I'll help you with that later. Just go."
hoping
And
they
then
would
they would
forget,
go away and I'd be like, "Oh,
but they didn't
that
forget.
doesn't build trust.
Yeah.
That does the opposite." And so I would make, in fact, I still do this to this day. If I say it to my child, it will get done. And I will go out of my way to make sure. I even do this to the point that if I told them something and then they fall asleep, like, say they're going to bed or whatever, I'm like, I'll be in to kiss you. And they're asleep and I know they're asleep. I still go in and I kiss them because I told them I would. So in the morning when they ask, I say, I went in and kissed you. So that they know I keep my word. When I say it, they know it will get done.
And they've even tested us. They've come in like, "Hey, you didn't kiss me." "Yes, I did.
Good.
You were asleep.
Kissed you.
I came in and give you a big old smooch, but you were already asleep." And they're like it's this huge assurance. Wow. When they say they're going to do something, they do it. It's massive.
So, but that also means I'm very, very careful about what I say because I'm not going to say something if I'm not going to do it. So it makes me pay close attention to my words. Okay. I'm better at words of affirmation, presence, support, physical affection. She doesn't want most of that. Yep. So when I think about where I went wrong with her, the needs she had expressed when she was younger had been ones that seemed less important to me since I relate less with my love language.
Yep.
And I saw wanting gifts as fostering entitlement. I also tended to see her as a perpetrator in a drama triangle and struggled to listen to her perspective in the drama between her and her siblings. So I became her enemy. Yeah. That's great awareness.
Great awareness.
I
Wow,
thank
that
you for
was
sharing
really
that.
good. Thanks.
That's good. Okay. Then it says heart connection is my goal. I'm not connected to my parents, mainly because of my controlling, manipulative, dishonoring mom and all the issues that arise from that. My greatest fear is that I behave the same way and mimic the same behavior with my kids, and they end up wanting nothing to do with me. This is super helpful. Good.